So we're ready. Let's bet. Well, welcome everyone to a new episode of the Women's Empowerment Series. I'm so excited to have with me Lori Bird. Lori Bird, such an honor to have you. You are an incredible woman and amazing. So let me tell you a bit about Lori Bird, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself. So Lori Bird is a certified life coach. She does so much for women and for youth, and she's a mother of 8. And I salute you. I send you so much love for all the love that you carried. And being a mom 8 times, it's so much. So respect to you, my beautiful Lori. I'm a mother of 4, so I can feel it in my heart, deep inside me. Welcome, Lori. Such an honor
Thank
to have
you. Dr. Hynd is such an honor for me to be here, and you are amazing too. I love what you do. I love what's behind the Balm method, and this is an amazing show. Just at that intro, looking at all those beautiful
Yes,
countenances, those faces of all the women you've had here
yes,
as guests, it's just like
yes.
intimidating. I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm a
Oh my
great
God.
guest.
It is such an honor. You are an incredible woman. And this very show is made for women like you.
Oh,
Because
thank you.
when I look at you, I will never, ever know you are a mother of 8. You know, never. Do you know the stories behind every woman? It's like so much gold in them.
Mm,
If we can only get to have a voice to share it with the world, do you know?
absolutely. Yes, I agree. And you're creating this
This
opportunity
is
for,
why. It's like,
yes.
I don't know. Welcome to everyone watching us on live and whoever's watching us on replay. I don't know whoever watches us, but I know for sure that every person that comes changes someone's life
Ah,
as we were
yes.
talking and exchanging. That I know for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree. And I'm sure their life is changed and touched also by you, by the opportunity,
Yes.
So.
So this is number 98. And I remember in the beginning of the year, I said, we're going to do 100. And so we are closing 100 this week. And it's incredible. So it's 100
Congratulations.
women from
Yes.
all around the world.
Wow, and that's amazing. Congratulations. That's a great aim, right? That's a great
It's like
uh,
it just happened
a
somehow.
goal.
And you're
Yes.
part of it. And I
Oh,
love reaching out to incredible women like you. So So
thank you.
thank you for coming. And this was a long introduction to say how much it means to me, because I think in the work we do and the work you do, we love to celebrate other women. I mean, to me, there is so much value in that. And to be able to do that and show others to do that, it's like sharing love around us.
And in a world that compares, competes, I love this. And you got it right. And I see it more and more. As
Mhm.
much as we want to see the bad, there's a lot of goodness and a lot of women like this. And this is very important when we stand together, when we support each other. It's
Mhm.
amazing. I think when we interviewed you, you have in your method something that I have in my method. And I'm like,
Yes,
that's
I
wonderful.
remember. Yes, I
That is
remember that.
wonderful. Great minds think alike, right? So I thought, wow, how wonderful that we have so much in common. And
Yes.
that's the thing, that's the beauty of it. We have, 8 kids, I wonder if we meet in a room, the 98, and see how many things we have in common, the
Yes,
trials,
that's true.
adversities. I mean,
Yeah.
no matter if someone hasn't had any children or 1 or 3 or
Yes.
4, you know,
Yes.
the similarities
Yes.
are more than what we sometimes give credit to.
Absolutely, I agree. And you know what's incredible is that somehow we are all the same, and emotions are felt exactly the same way throughout the planet. Just the
Mhm.
same way. And at the root of our feeling good is actually love and empathy.
Mm. Oh, I feel that, and I sense that, and you're in Morocco. I'm here in Dallas, Texas, in the U.S. I feel that through the screen.
Yes,
I
we
feel
do.
that to the lens,
Yeah.
and it's just fascinating. And it's interesting you said that because there's books written about the dichotomy of this, the dichotomy of leadership, or the contradiction, right? And I agree with you, and we are the same. At the same time, we're at a very unique.
Yeah.
And what makes us unique is the difference, some different experiences, different backgrounds. And that is what's beautiful, because as we learn from each other and we support each other and grow together, it just creates this amazing cocktail of beauty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And each of those 98 people that you have invited, I'm sure they're doing their wonderful things and changing lives around the world
Yes,
with their
exactly.
strengths and the skills.
And I love
Yeah.
how you put it, because more we see hear each other, because we have different perspectives, and the very fact that you can listen to someone's take or someone's perspective, it's like it's almost you zooming out of your own situation,
Hmm.
and you're like, let me look at myself from another lens, isn't it?
Right? I love it. Yes.
So tell us about Laurie. Who is Laurie Bird, this beautiful mother and certified life coach, and cares so much for the youth?
Do you want the long version? No, I'm I'm gonna try to
No,
do
that's funny. Whatever you tell.
the short version, the condensed version. Yeah, so I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. My
Mm.
mother was
Or
single at
beauty.
the time. Yeah, so I'm fascinated and so intrigued by Morocco. I've never been there, but I know there's a lot of that culture in our tiny little island of the Caribbean,
Yes, yes.
because they were so close to Spain and they even speak some Spanish, right?
We
Is that
do
right?
in the north, and yeah, we do absolutely. Yeah.
And the connection, and I know that when I was traveling and I have eaten Moroccan food, so similar to the Puerto Rican food. So yes, it's just that's a whole nother
Nice,
topic because I love to
nice.
travel.
I incredible. Well, you should come then. This is the
Yes.
invitation to come. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I will keep that in mind.
We can just use
So
your events here. That's what you do, isn't it? So tell us about you, and then let's think. Mhm.
yeah. So then, being born and raised in Puerto Rico, my mom was single at the time, and I'm the youngest of four.
Wow.
And yes, to this day, my mother still thinks I'm her baby. So you're
That's
okay.
yeah, that's why I was,
Dr.
and she's the one who came in, by the way, where we started. I'm like, oh, she's not. This is
Oh,
not the time. But then again, we're mothers, so that's how it
yes.
works.
Yes. Um, so I was the youngest of four. Mom was single, and then my grandma decided to live with us to kind of support mom and be the stay-at-home mom figure while mom was the breadwinner at the time.
Okay.
I saw from my mother the work ethics. She became a doctor. She worked so hard in her master's degree, doctor's degree, and it was so admirable how she pursued that
Hmm.
under her circumstances. And then my grandma was like the stay-at-home figure and very wise. I call her my first life coach. And then as I developed and grew, I wanted to get married myself, and my biggest dream was to be a mom. And sure enough, I did. We took one children at a time. They came one at a time.
Here she is.
And then, oh, here she is, so
Yeah,
gorgeous. That's your baby. She wants to be part of the show.
yeah, she does. She
Oh, gorgeous.
does.
So yeah, I was her. I'm the
I
youngest of
told you
four.
she's just been, zooming around. So it comes. Mhm.
Lovely, lovely. So
Mhm.
then I raised my children. I was blessed. My husband and I, he's from the United States, so we moved to the United States.
Mhm.
And then after raising my 8 children, I decided, like, what am I gonna do now? This is kind of like my identity right now, being a mom, stay-at-home mom, raised all of them, the kids. And then when my number 8 went to school, kindergarten, I'm like,
Mhm.
I want to go to school too. And
Mhm.
then that's when I became a certified life coach and clinical hypnosis practitioner.
Mhm.
And I've been helping adults, business owners, and professionals
Okay.
release, remove, and resolve many things from their past. Um, a lot of them have a lot of hidden grief.
Mhm.
And then with the methodologies that I created with my
Mhm.
7-step method and clinical hypnosis and the life coaching skills, I've been able
Great.
to help lots of adults. But I
Yeah.
see a pattern, Dr. Hind, which is
Mhm.
that many of them develop certain behaviors, or the sadness ingrains or anchors in at a very young age, whether it is from their childhood or teenage years. And this is why I'm on a mission right now. My new passion project is to create events for the adults, the parents,
The
and the
parents.
youth
Mm,
to have a space, a container where they
mhm.
can solve problems and issues and misunderstandings, and strengthen that bridge of communication between parent and child,
Incredible.
and
Yeah.
child.
So you want to tackle the root of the problems in the youth before it grows and becomes some very deep wounds later on as adults. That's
That
amazing.
to
That's
carry all
amazing.
that into adulthood. Yes, thank you. And again, Dr. Hin asked me at the beginning of this when we were backstage, like, "Are you doing more adults or youth?" And I'm like, "It's kind of like
Yes, that was my
both.
question. Yes.
It's
And
both."
and it's incredible because I think a lot of work can be started in the youths
Mhm.
during the time of the youth, but I don't know if they find that they are ready for it. So, and that's my question to you: how much readiness do they have? I mean, you obviously see that in your children. I mean, when we are mothers, we can, we experiment things and we motivate them, we change things, we heal things. And how would you think helps a child or a or a young adult to be ready? Is it a
Oh,
mother? Is it, yeah? What's that?
yes. So that's a great question. Dr. Hin, as you know, here there's a saying in the United States that is like, "You're not a prophet in your own land." So we have needed
You
to
are not. Can
send
you repeat that? You are not.
a
Eh?
prophet in your own land,
Okay.
like, you know,
You are not a
at,
prophet in your own
in your
land.
own land.
Yes.
Basically, like my own children, if I tell them, "Sit down, we're gonna have a session with me."
They will not listen to you. You know, that's funny you say that. My daughter says the same. She's like, Mom, you're not going to try this bowel method on me. And they know the name. My son always teases me. Oh, you're going to use this thing on us again.
Out of my 8 children, I don't know how many have read my book, honestly.
Let me see it.
Right?
Let's
So,
show it to everyone watching us.
oh,
Let me
it's
see
called
the book.
free.
Freedom from Flesh. Oh, wow.
It's
And
a
the
guide for self
photo of
mastery and
you. Oh my God, I don't have that book.
oh,
You should
thank you.
just drop the link. I would love to get a copy myself.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you. Yeah, so it's very simple. And then I'm like, I have said this in my book. How many of you have you heard this story
I've
of
read.
me? Because I share a little bit of my background and
Of
things like
course.
that. And
Yeah.
they're like, no. So we're down to 2 children at home. We have adult children, obviously, and then like my daughter, the oldest one that has children herself and all that. She's like, "Mom, you're not engaging me." She's read it, to her credit, and all that. But then the rest ones. So what I'm saying with that is that I have needed myself to admit and to say, or they have asked me to send them to other professionals. And I
Mm.
do that, right? It's like karate. I don't teach karate.
Yeah, no,
Well,
that's is not
let's
your
send them
thing.
somewhere else.
Of
And
course.
this is my thing, and I would love to help them, but then they want it from somebody else, more objective. And I understand that. But I
And
have,
they're probably shy. They don't want to say everything to you, maybe.
right.
Although they admire you, but they don't want to say it to you as well. No.
And I think you know our dear friend, common friend, Corey Minkus.
Yes. Hmm.
Corey Minkus was in our show too, and she shared how when she thought one of her kids, and I share this freely, hopefully, because she was in our show. This is public information. It's so funny because she said this good friend she has, Bob, professional in this field, was telling her, "No, your son is not the one that has an issue. You're the one that has issues, Corey."
Wow.
And then I told Corey, "I have a Bob too." Like, when we have sent our children to get help or whatever, the root cause many times is us as adults, as parents. And
Mm.
I've seen that. I have been humble enough to know, my goodness, my own issues, my own little traumas, my
Course.
own.
And you don't, yeah. And you don't see it at times. I mean, it's okay to have someone point at something. It's not, it's not a judgment. It's something bad. You take it as a feedback and you
And
move
awareness, right,
on.
helps us
Awareness.
real. As a mom of 8, I think, Dr. Hind, I think, in my opinion, I believe in God, and I think He gave us 8 opportunities to finally get it right.
Well, that's for sure. If you don't get it at your age. You know, just like
We're
one
on our,
time.
I
Oh,
think
that
we're
is
on our
for
way.
sure.
So you probably have four because you didn't need to learn much. We needed to.
Yeah, I didn't start that early, so that's why it's just kept it that far.
Right?
That's what
So,
I could have made. That's so funny.
and
Yeah.
because of my own experience as a mom and because of my own uh, things that I lacked emotionally to
Mm.
probably help my children overcome certain things, I'm humble enough now to admit it and to recognize it. My oldest son, who is 29, um, knows and realized that I'm a different mom that I was to him. And I have apologized so many times. I'm so
Yeah, but
sorry.
that's because, because of your wisdom, because of the experience, because of
Right.
less fear
Yeah.
towards the child. If you've seen it once, twice, three times, the fourth time, you're like, okay, I'm not gonna be scared. They're gonna be all right. Yeah.
Right. And even when they're I have so much experience. Each of them are so different. I tell my Joseph, I've never raised a Joseph before, right? Or
Yeah,
a Gabriel before, because you're each so unique and so different.
exactly. Yeah.
And now this is what I want to create for parents. Because there was never something like that for me or for us as a family with my children. There was the counseling for the children. Oh, now the children, now your mom and dad need to come in, the counseling and therapy for me or whatever. As a life coach, I want to create now experiences where both the adult, the grown up, because sometimes it's not even the parents, it's a guardian that's being responsible for them, it's a
That's
grandparent.
okay.
So I want their guardian grown up to have an experience with the teenagers, to learn a container where I will teach exercises and information on effective communication, an
Mhm.
effective way to express emotions, on having
Wow.
difficult conversations without feeling like threatened or that it's
Yeah,
going to end in a battle. And
yeah.
that's what I'm creating right now.
That's incredible. And I think that is so needed because it's true because a lot of adults would love to have their children or their young children and young adults, because they are young adults at home, being
Mhm.
accompanied, but also themselves having their ears there without
Right.
needing to get the feedback and be surprised, but just be part of the whole process. And that's incredible.
And I was doing some research, Dr. Hin, and I don't see, and I pray and I hope that more people, if you feel you're watching this or
Yeah.
anybody else what is watching this and feel like the call to create some of this some venue, some event, some conference, some masterclass to have the parent and child together. It's
I love that.
challenging. It's challenging. I have teenager clients,
Mhm.
and you asked like how are they ready, right, to
Yeah,
learn.
that's my question is like, who expresses their readiness? Because you're not going to find a 15-year-old telling you, mom, I want somebody to help me feel motivated. They can never
it,
say
it
that.
will take a special one, a very mature one, to say it. I'm sure they're out there, but you know how they express it, and they express it misbehaving, they express it rebelling, they express it
Mm,
frustrated and acting up. And
mm,
that's how they're expressing something's off. I don't even understand myself. You're not understanding me. Whatever you're trying, it's not helping me. I
wow.
need help. But then
Wow.
they act up. And
Oh,
that's when parents call me, right? That's when parents
incredible.
call me. And then when I start seeing, I always let the parents know that as part of my agreement is that I will require a meeting with the parents. And I do this even with couples coaching. If
Hmm.
I'm coaching one person, because the one person is the one with the chronic issue, I
Hmm.
say, no, at some point I'm going to want your partner to come in and and I call those councils. It's a COUNCIL, family councils.
Yeah, I like that.
It's just a moment where we're in a room together
Hmm.
expressing ourselves and telling things, because again, if one person's progressing, which is the person that obviously have the biggest symptoms or
Hmm.
behavior
Hmm.
issues, and they come to me for a session, etc., they go back to their environment, the other person that doesn't know what happened in the room in the
Yeah.
session, doesn't understand what's
The
happening or the
change behavior.
process.
Yeah. Mm.
And
Mm.
that's why I'm thinking right now is very important to have both together in the same event, in the same masterclass or
I love
workshop,
that.
because it's very
Have you
valuable.
started that, or this is something that you have intention? Now you're announcing it. Yeah.
Now I'm preparing it. I'm preparing because I feel the need. So you're in, and to answer your question, because I feel like we keep going round and round, but to answer the question is that it either takes a young man, young women to say, yes, I need help, or they start acting up and the parents are like, okay, I don't know what to
I don't
do.
know what to do. Yeah.
And then
So
when
what do you
they're
feel? Mhm. Sorry.
when they're in,
Mm.
it boils down to, this is what's happening with mom or
Mm.
dad, and dad doesn't understand how to handle this, and this is why I want to create something where both parties are together. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had a question because I know you've been working with youth for a while. What do you think are mostly what's happening now? I mean, I can only talk from watching my own teenagers at home, and it's like the stress from exams and evaluation and grades. I see them changing year after year and like growing with so much stress. Do you feel that as well with the youth?
Absolutely, absolutely, Dr. Hind. Like, and then having, I don't want to shut anybody off. Continue watching even after I say this,
Yeah,
please.
exactly.
It's the era of technology.
It
I
is.
said it. I
It
said
really
it,
is. Yeah.
which it can be absolutely manageable with boundaries, with rules. And because I learned it the hard way. I
Yeah.
learned it the hard way. I saw when my older ones that are he's almost 29,
Mhm.
when it was introduced, the need of having a phone, the need of, perceived
Yeah.
need. And I agree that is very good and handy. But when we learn as parents to manage to set boundaries and rules in technology, this technology is not going to intrude so much in a family life nor in an individual's life.
Okay.
Because what's happening is that children or teenagers, even adults, because I can say I'm guilty. Every adult, everybody that owns one of these devices is guilty of being distracted.
All the
and,
time.
and all the
Mm.
time, and that self-awareness, and I'm not making generalizations, and I know there's exceptions, and I know there's people that are very disciplined. That's so good. But
Mm.
what's being predominant, since you asked me, what's being very predominant is um, very unrealistic expectations from the parents, or
Mm.
parents are asking for the children to do something where when they're not leading by example,
Mm.
or the youth are so into this world of technology that they're comparing themselves to others
Mhm.
that look better, are doing better, supposedly. There's this perceived idea of what you should be,
Yeah,
what you should look like, what you should do, and it is not real. It is not true.
that's
If
true.
it's true for that person, great. It doesn't have to be your truth. And then now they're being led by all these influencers or
Mhm.
this influence
Yes.
that is causing a lot of ruckus in society.
It really does. And I think you are spot on. I think all the shifts and the changes are about this digitalization and this electronics and the phone. The phone and the fact that you can put together the parents and the youth, you'll be talking about that and raising awareness among the parents because they watch us, they see us. They see us and they do the same. I don't, my phone is always very far away. I never answer. My phone is always off. And I think I did that because not only for my children, but because I don't want my phone to guide my life. I'm the one deciding. It's not my phone that decide what I do or what I
Right.
listen, what I when I answer, when I do not. But I also never wanted any of my child to say you're always on the phone or you always so don't have it.
Right. And that is amazing. That's your lead. You get it.
For
Your
kids.
lead example, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, and I tell them, I'm like, my phone is never with me. So even on social, I have in my computer, so it's limited.
There
That's
you
it.
go.
and
There
we're
you
done
go.
because
And
it
as a
was.
parent, do you have rules for your kids if they
I
have
used to have
devices?
rules, but the older ones are now kind of not abiding by any rules. And it's like, my rules now, as long as you deliver, you have, you do your work, you have good grades, things are going okay, you don't look too much deprived from sleep, because that's what tend to happen, right? They stay later, watch scrolling. I
Right.
cannot believe the scrolling. And my eldest one, they're high school level, so they're like, it relaxes me. How can it relax you? All this music and lights and like bzzz. That's what they think it's something that relaxes them.
Well, Dr. Hin, I'm going to say that you know your children well. You know what they need and what they don't need. And if you are doing that because you're wanting to teach them good principles for them to master themselves, that's a great approach.
Mhm.
You said as long as they're delivering. I'm not sure what's going to happen if they don't.
I'll
I
take
think
everything out.
yeah, okay.
Yes.
So that's already a
Yes.
rule, right? Or an
Oh yeah.
expectation or a boundary. As long as you
Absolutely.
perform, as
As
long
long
as you
as you perform.
deliver, you enjoy this privilege. Otherwise,
I
no.
take it out. And I said it once. I'm like, I don't think you can control yourself. So maybe mom needs to help you get to control, help you control yourself. Yeah.
And that is so congratulations. Yes, you have set a boundary because then so many parents don't even do that. Don't
Right.
even express or articulate that to their children. And
Um,
they allow for that to take over
I
and for
know.
that to control the family. That's
Yeah.
when the children start being disrespectful with their with their adults,
That's true.
losing. Yes, and I'm sure that according to what you said, let me, if this is a correct assumption, if the respect level starts going down, etc., you're gonna say no, no, no,
Oh,
right?
no, no, absolutely. There
Yeah,
will be
you
no more of that.
you kind of, I sense you to be that type of person.
Yeah.
There's other parents that have no idea and they're like this and that. A client that I have right now, oh, she's doing all this inappropriate thing. And I'm like, okay, when is this happening? Overnight? I'm like, no, there's a policy that you can implement that all the phones go to your bedroom overnight to charge.
Absolutely.
Because at night, children or youth are supposed to rest.
Absolutely.
And things that are horrible happen overnight.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
I
And
can
that's the
go
only
on
way.
and on. I
Did
can go
she,
on.
did she end up doing that or not?
Yes, thank goodness she's
Good.
following the my client, the young girl. I said, "Do you understand if you because the thing it's a vicious cycle. This
Yes.
youth, this young woman is very sad to have disappoint her mom so many times, and she wants to stop. And I said, I know this is part of your goal. You want to stop disappointing your mom. So do you
Mhm.
understand why this is not helping, and this is why your mom's going to put this boundary now?" Because I'm like, instead of the mom, I wanted me to be the bad guy when I gave
Yeah.
the mom the idea, because then
Yeah.
don't hold it against your mom. Your mom and I
It's you.
agreed on
You're the
this.
one suggested that. Yeah.
Because of my experience, nothing good happens at that time. If you, so it's a vicious cycle, right? And
Mhm.
this, my also, Dr. Hin, to answer that question, also like, how do they know they need help, etc. Two situations specifically, they don't want to disappoint anymore, they misbehave, etc., but that hurts them so much. And even
Yeah.
though that's a cycle they have and a pattern they have, they're tired of it, they're tired of disappointing their grown up,
Hmm.
and they want to do better. And to not inflict so much pain on their parent.
Yes.
So that is another incentive and a good reason why some of the youth might resist it, but deep down they want the
They
help.
know they won't do. Yeah. Even if they don't claim it, they don't say it, but it deep down. Wow.
Absolutely.
Well, this is incredible. And your work is so important and timely, because every family and every parents would love to have someone like you to help them navigate through the youth. It's true. And I'm so happy that, please, I'm going to invite you to write about your new program for youth and adult inside the group Fam Leader. I'm sure they'll
Oh,
find so many
okay.
women who's going to be interested in
Okay.
joining in, because we have a lot of mothers of teenagers, and I see that a lot in our programs, in my paid programs. I have a lot of clients, private clients clients. So I'd be very happy to share it. Where
Oh, thank
a lot of
you. Yes.
is about how do you manage a teenager, and mainly when it's a girl, a young woman that doesn't know how to handle herself around 15 and 16, and we still want to be so friend and so close. So that's wonderful, really.
Yay. Well, wonderful. I appreciate you that. Thank you for opening that opportunity for me to
Mm,
share in the group.
absolutely.
That's the goal. That's my new passion project, like to help families heal, to help
Yes,
those relationships to thrive,
absolutely.
for a better world, better society.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming with me. Thank you, everyone, for joining us live or on replay. You are incredible, Lori. Your work is
Mm,
beautiful and so
thank you.
needed. And you are such an incredible woman. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you, Dr. Hynd. A
Okay,
hug from Texas.
me too. Well, it's like a big, big hug. Sending you so much love. Bye.
Bye.